Good morning, traders, and this is the Dow Jones Daily Review. So we ended up yesterday with a indecision bar. I think let's just zoom in. So what we mean by indecision bar is you've got a long tail at the top, long tail at the bottom, and a very small body, also known as a spinning top. Okay, we did have a pin bar, which is an indication that sellers are stepping in, and we have now quite close below it, but we are below it at the moment. But we'd have to wait for today's bar to finish and get a close below that to have some confidence that we've got a little bit of downside, more downside to come. So let's just get back to a broader picture and get some trend lines in. So first trend line is that one. Okay, so if I draw the trend line on the top as well, like that. So it was a channel, and then we slowly moved the channel into a wedge. Okay, and then we broke through, came back, and we've tested. There's two bars basically, and we're now turning back to the downside. So there is a fairly good possibility that this may retrace, but the other thing we need to bear in mind is we have another channel. Channel, slight wedge, but anyway, but whichever way you want to look at it, what we do have is another trend line that we can more than likely anticipate buyers stepping in off. And my feeling still stays the same, that this area here of 25 to 50 is a fairly good area to get long. Okay, it's only once we start breaking through 24,900 on the daily that I start thinking we have changed. We not changed, but there's a good potential of us changing this trend to move the downside. And that is something that I'm also anticipating, and that's just based on the weekly. Okay, get rid of the noise. You can see the oscillator here is very much in the overbought territory, so we haven't had a decent pullback, and that's kind of what I'm anticipating is a pullback. The other thing that we do have here is we do have a trend line break, okay, but it's on the weekly, so what we'd like to see is a weekly close above there. But if we do get if we get a big sell-off today, that's going to give us a pin bar on the top. So spinning top, spin bar, which is pretty much a similar setup to what you see at the moment, pin bar, spinning top, and that is relatively bearish. Okay, so at this stage, for me anyway, I am looking at a long of 25 to 50. Okay, oscillator's grouping nicely to the downside. You can see we're on the 4 hour. You can see what happens every time that appears. Whenever this pattern appears, we have a warning that we're about to move back to the upside. So that's kind of what I'm anticipating. Yesterday was kind of a pretty volatile day because of some negative data that came through. So you look at the hourly. We broke through the alligator back, fought quite hard on the alligator before selling off into the close. But again, we have now got a double bottom here. Okay, and it is slight continuation diversion, so I'd almost expect a bit of a pullback up and then another move to the downside. But this area here is definitely an area that I'm looking for longs. Okay, so it's 25 to 50. So up until that point, there's obviously an opportunity for some short scalps, and that you're going to be looking at on the intraday charts. And you can see last night, this consolidation area here, there was a double bottom, a W bottom, whichever way you want to look at it. And the reason why there was such a battle here is because this pattern normally indicates a measured move of the height of the block. And the block is pretty much like that. Okay, so there's the consolidation. So normally what you expect is a break up like that with a target right at the top here. Okay, that has not materialized because we've broken below the leg, the bottom leg here. So we've broken below this leg here. So I think for all intents and purposes, so long as we're staying close to the alligator like this, this trend is down. So your opportunity for short scalps are there. And what you're looking for ultimately is 24,250. And 24,250 would be a fairly good area to be long. And the last thing we want to do on this is just check the Fibonacci expansion. So currently 50, the 61.8 lines up beautifully over there. Okay. And obviously if you're going to do something like that, then what you're looking for is a stop below here. But that's quite a large stop. It's 269 point stop. So for me, I would look at it a little bit differently. Take the stab off here. Hopefully you get some kind of price action like this off the level. And then you've got a closer stop loss. And as soon as it's running, just move your stop to entry, just in case we're going to have a tendency to move to the downside. But for me at the moment, looking at the half hour, if I do that and we do that, we have a little bit of a wedge forming. Probably not enough of a wedge to get back to the level. So you're going to have to be wary of anybody that's ambushing us. But I suppose what you can argue is no. So we're thinking you could have a failure of the wedge to the downside. But it doesn't look like that'll play out. Okay, so a couple of things. You may get some ambush action here. In other words, a rally up. So you either hit the first target of the wedge, which is normally half the height of the wedge, which will be in the alligator, and then another attempt down. So that to me is still, still be short. Trend is down at the moment, and you only want to be long off a level, and the level you want is down here, 24,250. Okay, so that's my view at the moment. I know we have a potential reversal here on the 4 hour, but we need to break through the alligator, come back and test that break for me to be convinced that we have a change in direction. Okay, so for me at the moment, what we're looking for is, I just want to see if this lines up with anything. Okay, you could also see that as a wedge as well. So I want to see a pull back down to this level, and that's the area I'm long. Okay, anyway guys, that's it for me on the Dow Jones. Just be safe whichever way you're doing. If you are taking the short scalp, be very safe, and I will catch you guys later. Cheers for now.